Wait, before you skip this video, let me tell you something shocking. Silver has already jumped 38% in just the first 23 days of 2026. Yes, you heard that right, just 23 days. While gold is sitting pretty at record highs, silver is absolutely exploding right now. And the crazy part? Most people are still ignoring it. Some analysts are predicting silver could hit $375 per ounce this year. That's not a typo. $375. So the question everyone's asking is silver finally going to beat gold in 2026? Stick around because what I'm about to share might completely change how you think about precious metals investing. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about helping you make smarter investment decisions with simple, easy to understand explanations. No complicated jargon, no confusing terms, just straight facts that actually help you. Now, before we dive deep into this silver versus gold debate, I need your help with something. This topic is massive, and I want to know what you think. After watching this video, drop a comment below and tell me, are you Team Silver or Team Gold for 2026? The metal that gets the most support in the comments will be the topic of our next deep dive video. So make sure you let your voice be heard. Also, if you find this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us create more content like this for you. Trust me, with how fast these markets are moving in 2026, you'll want to stay updated. All right, let's get into it. So, what's actually happening in the precious metals market right now? Let me paint you a picture. As of January 2026, both gold and silver have already hit record highs. Gold is trading around $5,000 per ounce for the first time in history. That's absolutely incredible. But here's where it gets interesting. Silver has surged past $100. This is the first time in over a decade that silver has seen this kind of explosive growth. Let me give you some context. In January 2025, silver was trading at around $30 per ounce. Today, it's at $100. That's a gain of over 200% in just 1 year. Gold, on the other hand, went from around $2,700 to $5,000. Still amazing, but silver has absolutely crushed it in terms of percentage gains. Now, here's something really important called the gold to silver ratio. This ratio tells you how many ounces of silver you need to buy 1 ounce of gold. Historically, this ratio has been around 60 to 80, but recently it dropped to 50. That means for the first time in 14 years, you only need 50 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Why does this matter? Because when this ratio gets lower, it usually means silver is getting stronger compared to gold. And many experts believe this trend will continue through 2026. But before we declare silver as the winner, we need to understand why each metal is performing the way it is. Because there's a lot more to this story than just price movements. Let's talk about gold first, because honestly, gold has been the traditional safe haven asset for thousands of years. There's a reason people say, as good as gold. Right now, major banks like JP Morgan are predicting gold could reach $5,000 to $6,000 per ounce by the end of 2026. Goldman Sachs recently raised their forecast to $5,400. Bank of America is even more bullish, suggesting gold could eventually hit $6,000. So what's driving gold prices so high? First, central banks around the world are buying gold like crazy. In 2025, central banks purchased an average of 585 tons of gold every quarter. That's massive demand. Countries are diversifying away from the US dollar and adding more gold to their reserves. This trend is expected to continue through 2026. Second, economic uncertainty. Whenever there's talk of recession, trade wars, or political instability, people run to gold. It's like the security blanket of the investment world. With all the economic uncertainty in 2026, gold is benefiting big time. Third, inflation concerns. Even though interest rates have been coming down, people are still worried about inflation eating away at their purchasing power. Gold has always been seen as a hedge against inflation. When paper money loses value, gold holds its worth. Fourth, investor demand. Not just central banks, but regular investors and institutions are pouring money into gold. Exchange-traded funds, physical gold bars, gold coins, everything is seeing increased demand. Now, here's what makes gold attractive for conservative investors. It's stable, it's liquid, and it has thousands of years of history as a store of value. If you're someone who wants to sleep well at night and preserve your wealth, gold makes a lot of sense. But here's the thing, gold is also expensive. At $5,000 per ounce, it's harder for average investors to buy physical gold. And the percentage gains, while impressive, might not match what silver could potentially deliver. So, should you just forget about gold and go all in on silver? Hold on, not so fast. Let me explain the silver side of the story first. Hey, quick question before we continue. How many of you watching this video right now actually own physical silver or gold? Drop a comment and let me know. I'm really curious to see how many of our viewers are already invested in precious metals versus how many are just thinking about it. All right, let's talk about silver. Now here's where things get really exciting. Silver is not just a precious metal, it's also an industrial metal. And that makes all the difference. Let me explain. About 50% of silver demand comes from industrial uses. We're talking about solar panels, electric vehicles, electronics, medical equipment, water purification systems, and so much more. Silver is literally in thousands of products we use every day. Here's the problem. There's a massive supply deficit. That means the world is using more silver than it's producing. According to recent reports, this supply deficit is expected to deepen in 2026. When demand exceeds supply, what happens? Prices go up. It's basic economics. Let's talk about the industrial drivers. First, solar energy. The world is going green, and solar panels need silver. A lot of silver. As countries push for renewable energy, the demand for silver and solar panels is skyrocketing. This is not a short-term trend. This is a multi-decade shift. Second, electric vehicles. EVs use significantly more silver than traditional cars. Every EV contains about twice as much silver as a regular vehicle. With EV adoption accelerating globally, silver demand from this sector alone is huge. Third, 5G technology and electronics. The rollout of 5G networks requires tons of silver. Smartphones, computers, servers, all of these use silver for conductivity. As technology advances, silver becomes more critical. Fourth, medical applications. Silver has antibacterial properties, making it essential in medical devices, wound dressings, and hospital equipment. This demand is steady and growing. Now here's where it gets wild. Some analysts are predicting silver could hit $100 to $150 per ounce in 2026, but there are even more aggressive forecasts. One analyst has predicted silver could reach $375 per ounce if the perfect storm of supply deficits and industrial demand continues. Let me put that in perspective. If you invested $1,000 in silver a year ago when it was at $30 per ounce, today that investment would be worth over $3,100. That's a 210% gain in just 12 months. Show me another investment that delivered those returns. But here's the thing about silver. It's volatile. Very volatile. Silver prices can swing wildly in both directions. It's not for the faint of heart. If you invest in silver, you need to be prepared for a bumpy ride. However, if you can stomach the volatility, the upside potential is absolutely massive. Many experts believe silver is still undervalued compared to gold. Remember that gold to silver ratio we talked about? Some analysts think it should be even lower, maybe 40 or 30. If that happens, silver prices could explode even further. All right, now let's talk about the risks, because I'm not here to just hype things up. Every investment has risks, and you need to know them before putting your money anywhere. For gold, the main risk is that if economic conditions improve dramatically and interest rates stay low, gold might not have as much appeal. Also, if the US dollar strengthens significantly, gold prices could come under pressure. Gold doesn't pay dividends or interest, so you're purely betting on price appreciation. For silver, the risks are different. Because silver is heavily dependent on industrial demand, if the global economy slows down, industrial demand for silver could drop. That would put pressure on prices. Also, silver is much more volatile than gold. It can drop 10–15% in a matter of days during market panics. Another risk for silver: if new silver mines come online or recycling increases, the supply deficit could shrink, which would reduce the upward price pressure. There's also storage and security to think about. Physical silver takes up a lot more space than gold for the same dollar value. If you buy $10,000 worth of silver, you'll need a much bigger safe than if you buy $10,000 worth of gold. And let's not forget taxes and premiums. When you buy physical precious metals, you often pay a premium over the spot price. And when you sell, there might be capital gains taxes depending on your country's regulations. So, with all these factors in mind, what's the verdict? Okay, so here's my honest take on the silver versus gold debate for 2026. If you're a conservative investor who wants stability and wealth preservation, gold is probably your best bet. Gold has proven itself over thousands of years. It's liquid, it's recognized globally, and it's less volatile than silver. Banks like JP Morgan are predicting gold could reach $6,000 by late 2026, which would still be a solid 20% gain from current levels. But if you're willing to take on more risk for potentially much higher rewards, silver might be the play. The industrial demand story is real, the supply deficit is real, and the upside potential is massive. If silver hits even $150 per ounce, that's a 57% gain from current levels. If it somehow reaches those wild $375 predictions, that's almost a 4x return. Here's what many smart investors are doing. They're holding both. They're using gold as the stable foundation of their precious metals portfolio, and they're adding silver for growth potential. A common allocation is 70% gold and 30% silver, though some aggressive investors are going 50-50 or even heavier on silver. The key thing to remember is this: diversification matters. Don't put all your money into precious metals, and definitely don't put all your precious metals allocation into just one metal. Also, think about your investment timeline. If you need the money in the next 6 months, precious metals might not be the right choice because of the volatility. But if you're looking at a 2 to 5 year horizon, both gold and silver could deliver excellent returns. One more thing: how you invest matters too. You can buy physical metals, you can invest in ETFs, you can buy mining stocks, or you can trade futures. Each option has different risk profiles and potential returns. Physical metals are safest but least convenient. ETFs are convenient but have management fees. Mining stocks offer leverage but are riskier. Do your research and choose what fits your situation. All right, so now I really want to hear from you. This is super important. In the comments below, tell me, are you Team Silver or Team Gold for 2026? Write silver if you think silver will outperform gold this year. Write gold if you think gold is still the safer and better investment. And if you're holding both, write both and tell me your allocation. I'm going to count up all the comments, and whichever metal gets the most support will be the topic of our next video, where we'll go even deeper. Maybe we'll talk about the best ways to buy and store that metal, or maybe we'll look at specific mining companies. Whatever you want to learn about, let me know. Also, if you found this video helpful, please smash that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable, and it helps us reach more people who need this information. We're trying to build a community of smart investors here, and you're a part of that. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We post videos every week about investing, market trends, and financial education, all explained in simple language that anyone can understand. In markets like these, where things are changing rapidly, staying informed is crucial. Before I wrap up, let me leave you with a few final thoughts. Whether you choose silver, gold, or both, the most important thing is that you're thinking about protecting and growing your wealth. Most people never even think about precious metals. The fact that you watched this entire video shows you're ahead of the curve. But remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing information and analysis. You need to do your own research, consider your own financial situation, and maybe even talk to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The precious metals market in 2026 is fascinating. We're seeing things happen that haven't happened in decades. Silver is breaking records, gold is reaching new heights, and the traditional rules seem to be changing. It's an exciting time, but it's also a time to be careful and educated. Whatever you decide, make sure you're investing money you can afford to lock up for a while. Don't invest money you'll need next month. And never invest more than you can afford to lose. That's investing 101. The beautiful thing about both gold and silver is that they've maintained value for thousands of years. Paper currencies come and go, governments rise and fall, but gold and silver remain. That's why so many people consider them real money, not just investments. As we move through 2026, keep watching this channel for updates. Markets are moving fast, and what's true today might change tomorrow. I'll be here to break it all down for you in simple terms. So that's it for today's video on silver versus gold in 2026. I hope you found it helpful and informative. Remember, drop your vote in the comments, silver, gold, or both. Your input will shape our next video, so please participate. I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, share it with your friends and family who are interested in investing. Let's spread financial knowledge together. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you.